All right. Well, let's go to a positive note.
Okay.
This is it. Tell me. So we met. I was on Fresh Meat.
No. This is going to be from my point of view.
All right. But you remember I was cast last minute.
I understand.
Okay.
Believe me.
Great.
I know the story.
You know the story. Go ahead. This is
and listen, if you got to cut this out later, fine. But I got to tell the long form of this. So
tell the
bear
long
with
form.
me unless this other
I'll
person
just cut
shows
the
up.
whole high school stuff.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Jason, we'll trim that down and have this.
Yeah,
perfect.
Because well, you decide if you like the other shit better.
But maybe we'll keep it all. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, so here's the deal. So I was in that state of mind in the late 90s where I refused to do a sitcom, right? I was too good for that, right? I hadn't done one since Evening Shade, wasn't interested in doing it. It was probably more fear-based than it was any type of artistic integrity. But then I found out that this was on the heels of one of you and I shared favorite movies, Tommy Boy,
Pete Segal.
And we were still basking in the afterglow of that. And then here comes this show that is going to be written by Fred Wolf, which is another great
and Pete Segal
SNL alum, and then directed by Pete Segal. And so I thought, oh my God, these guys are like some of my new favorite people on the planet. I gotta go. I don't care what it is. I'll go and work with these guys just to work with them. And so I go out and audition for this pilot that was called Fresh Meat. The worst fucking title
about
for
assistants in the entertainment
ever.
Industry.
And it was kind of a wannabe Friends about this collection of young 20-somethings that lived in the same apartment complex, and we all assistants of some kind on the show.
Assistants trying to get somewhere.
Okay. I remember that I was an assistant to Fred.
Fred, who's the guy comedian? He was waiting for Guffman.
What are we
Fred.
doing here?
Anyway, go ahead. Willard, Fred
yes.
Willard. Yep.
How dare
He was
us.
great. I love Fred Willard.
May God strike us down.
No,
May Fred
God,
strike
don't
us down.
strike us down.
Sorry, Fred. God rest in peace. But anyway, so I end up getting this thing. I'm really excited about it. We rehearsed for 2 weeks. I'm getting to meet Fred Willard. I think Martin Mull might have been on it too. And meeting these people and working with these people. But Pete Segal was great. And Fred Wolf was awesome. And on the show, you know, it was an ensemble show, but there were 2 male leads. I was one, and this other character was the other. And it was a total Martin Lewis dynamic. I was the straight guy, and this other character was kind of the wacky, you know, goofy, funny guy. And the guy that was cast as this character and I, as well as all the other actors on the show, really got on great. The rehearsals went great. We're rehearsing, we're bonding, we're going out for drinks and dinner. And I developed, by the time it was time to get ready to shoot this thing, I really felt like this other guy and I had that dynamic. We had that chemistry. I thought he was hilarious and was going to make the show, great. And we're going to shoot on a Friday. And I get a call on a Wednesday night. Now, we've been rehearsing for 2 weeks. I get a call on a Wednesday night from Pete Segal. And he says, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm very saddened and upset by it. But the network wants to replace so-and-so. And I was furious. I was devastated. I wanted to call the network. Pete was like, don't bother. I've tried. There's nothing we can do. We've got to recast it. But the good news is we've got a guy. And we think you're going to love him. We love him. And just do us a favor and please don't take out any of your animosity or anger on him, because it's not his fault. And I was just so mad. And thought, oh, fuck this new guy, who cares who he is? I don't care how good he is. This is the guy for the job. I don't want this new guy. I don't even care about this new guy. And, this just sucks. I just hated it. And I felt terrible for the guy that got let go. So, plus, I'm also thinking to myself, we've been rehearsing for 2 fucking weeks. This guy is going to come in. You're telling me this guy is going to come in here the day before we're going to shoot this thing and learn all of the shit and then be able to perform in front of a live audience and pull it off and do a good job at the same time? No way. No way. I was not a believer. So I went to sleep that night And the next morning I woke up, it's time to go to work. And on my way into work, I was still fuming. But I thought, Jay, you're being ridiculous. This guy whoever this guy is, this new guy, he has nothing to do with this. It's not his fault. And he deserves to be given every opportunity to succeed here. And so I felt it was, incumbent upon all of the cast, but especially me, because our two characters are supposed to be so close, to welcome this new guy with open arms and really try to just go into it with a great attitude and make him feel as comfortable as possible, because the truth was we had a shared, common interest in this show working out, right? So everybody had everything to gain from it, and we had everything to lose if we just totally made you feel like an outsider. So I get to set that day, and I'm really nervous about meeting this new guy, really wanting him to be cool and funny and different, because that's what this other guy had been. And Pete Siegel's standing there, and I walk up, and it's this gentleman, Michael Rosenbaum. And Pete goes, Jay, I'd like you to meet Michael Rosenbaum. And I stuck my hand out and I said, Jay Ferguson, nice to meet you. And I brought him in and I hugged him, and we hugged each other. And I said, nice to meet you, bro. And we pulled away from each other, and he looked at me, and the first words that Michael Rosenbaum ever spoke to me was, whoa, bro, shit sandwich for breakfast?
Did I really?
And what's awesome is in that I laughed hilariously. And in that moment, I knew that we were kindred. Not only were we kindred spirits, but you were the right guy for the job, and that this was going to work out perfectly. All from that first sentence.
What'd you eat, a shit sandwich?
Yes. Oh, it was great. That was one of your famous ones
that
back
was one
in those
back
days.
Then.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I thank you for this. This means the world to me.
I got more.
Idea.
I got a little bit more. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you couldn't be more nervous. I had to learn all this stuff in one day in front of a live studio audience. I was freaking out,
and it was a ton of remember, physical comedy.
Physical comedy. I remember I did he wanted me to do a Chris Farley when I walked in.
Oh,
good Lord!
Oh yeah. You did a bunch of stuff, man. A bunch of physical stuff.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Well, I was gonna say that when you look back, and I love tracing back events to the origin of how they began, right? And when I think back, and like I was saying before, how I've gotten something out of every gig I've ever done. When I look at that gig, there is no doubt in my mind that the main reason I did that was not to work with Pete Siegel, was not to work with Fred Wolf or Fred Willard or Martin Mull or meet any of those people. The main reason that experience came into my life was so that you and I could meet.